Right on time, Bits. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are back with another FOMO Friday. We will have a Robinhood special today since we have a lot of activity that's happening on Robinhood chain. We've caught some big movers as well in the community. So I want to talk about that a little bit and my strategy as we navigate this brand new chain. Super excited to be going live with some of the legends up here. We have Bits of Wealth, Calvin, Nat. We may have William joining as well here soon. But yeah, super excited to dive into the markets today. We'll start with Bits. How are you doing this morning? I know Bits was wrapping up his. Oh, here. Now I have two Bits of wealth on the. Yeah, we'll let Bits figure out what's happening with his
Familiar.
technical issues. We'll go to Ned. Ned, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. I'm excited for this stream, Lady Trader. How are you?
I'm doing great, doing great. Thank you. It's been, we've missed you the last couple of weeks since you are someone who keeps an eye on all the liquidity levels for us. So, really happy that you're back. And I do know that you have to wrap up here pretty soon as well. So, we'll go ahead and give you the stage if you want to bring up your charts. I'm actually going to put them up here for you. Take it away, Nat.
All right, all right. Yeah, so for the last few weeks we had it's summertime, so we have family that come over and we travel, we go visit them. But now that we're here, Lady Trader, let's dive into the liquidity. It has been very interesting for BTC lately, right? We saw this big flush down to grab the liquidity at 65K and below, which we touched on the stream. Back then, before BTC made this ugly move to the upside to the downside, I'm sorry, in one candle, we had a lot of liquidity that was building down below, and we're seeing something similar now. Back then, the liquidity was in the 60s, 65K and below. Now we're seeing 62K, 61K and below. Like there's liquidity into the 50s, all the way, and there's some building down below too. So all the way down to 52, 53, and it's a whole bunch. Like there's some buildup at 50K as well. But again, these are building. As we saw similarly to last time, it does take some time for the liquidity to get to a very interesting level in which we can say it's going to serve as a magnet, right? Uh, Based on the previous patterns and what we've noticed with Bitcoin, in terms of the liquidity, it tends to do this move to the upside, grab some short term liquidity to the upside, and then give us the real move to the downside, right? So there is some slight buildup to the upside as well. 24 million, 64,675. But as we know, Lady Trader, in a lot of us here, that these small pockets they tend to be moved around, right? So it's the bigger pocket that we tend to focus on, but those are still building and they can build in either direction, right? So to the upside,
Mhm.
let's just take a look at the thin liquidity layers. There's this big line forming at 68K, but it's like it's still really really thin, not much there. It These are levels that I'm curious to see how they play out, and I'll be keeping my eye on them because as we've seen with liquidity, those that are not moved around, they tend to become heavier as time plays on, right? So we have this big pocket at 60, this little pocket at 68K, and some slight buildup at 64.7, and then 65, slight build up to the top side. However, as far as heavier, like cumulative total, it is still sorry, it is still heaviest to the bottom. Like if we can see all of these lines that are building up, all of these lines that are building up, some of them are slightly increasing, and they're mid to low 50s, right? So we have 43 million building at 55K. We have these little lines here, 51 million at 54K, 35 million at 53K. So there's a lot of interest in lower prices with these building, right? We have this dot here, it's 35 at 53.8. There is a small dot. I know I mentioned the dots because there is one at 57K. We'll get to it in a bit. 44 at 52. So overall, the thesis for me has not changed. Whenever we see the liquidity piling up like this, which we saw when we were in the mid 60s, pri- price followed it. Granted, not right away, right? Because we saw BTC move to the upside. I think we hit like 72, 74, and then we completely yanked, right? So I think something similar is playing out, and I think this aligns with both of our thesis. Lady Trader, that the bottom is not in yet. As long as I see
Mm-hmm.
liquidity piling up like this, like these double lines like this, even if it's the small double lines like this, like this, like this one, and the big lines, as long as I see it piling up the way that it is piling up to the downside, it is telling me that there is interest in lower prices, and at some point the price will gravitate towards it. Doesn't mean it can make a fake move to the upside and shoot up real quick and do like a liquidity grab and then go where to the liquidity is the heaviest, right? At the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
we've seen time and time again how Bitcoin does gravitate to the heaviest pockets, and at this point, it's to the downside.
Incredible. Love your takes, as always, Nat. Um, so what are you doing, Nat? Anything you caught on Robinhood Chain?
But I am so happy you mentioned this, and Lady Trader, man, kudos to you, kudos to your team and what you guys have put in. I've been so bullish on Robinhood for a very very long time, for years now.
Mm-hmm.
I've mentioned it on the space earlier. My first trade in Robinhood was when Robinhood was like at around $7 when everybody hated it, right? So I think it's beautiful to
Mm-hmm.
see what Robinhood has come along, how it has come along, and with its chain. When Vlad, the CEO, mentioned that it is great for memes, it has just been an explosive move to the upside. Yesterday we got in Robin, we got into that. It was like about 121 thousand market cap, and it went into the
Mm-hmm.
millions. So we were able to profit on that. Shout out to Dave from ATC. That's one of the shows that I host and co-host on a weekly basis. He was the one that kind of put us onto it, and he even did, he airdropped some individuals some of the tokens as well before the massive move to the upside. And then I also got
I've
into
never heard of that
AMC.
show. ATC. That must be a new
Right.
one.
Yeah. I'm sure you have. I mean, you've only been on there a few times. And kudos to you, Lady Trader, because I got in AMC. So that's one I'm still in. I'm still holding it. I'm ready to ride this one out with you and your community as well. But the narrative today seems to be Robin Hood and Robin Hood chain and the memes that have been going absolutely nuts on the chain. And that is, I've got a whole bunch of questions for you. I don't know if you want to dive into it just yet, or you want to just pass it on to somebody and then we come back around so we can, speak a little more on this.
Yeah, no, go right ahead. I mean, this is going to be a Robin Hood special. So we'll take some of those questions and then we can go around the room as well, because I do want to take some takes from the market and then also what everybody's looking at. But yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, so my main question for you is how are you able to identify these opportunities? Are there something specific that you look for in terms of memes? Because you have a high win rate, which is like, absolutely impressive when it comes to meme coins.
Yeah, so really for Robinhood Chain, first of all, I was looking at my strategy was looking at the first movers, right? Because a new chain has just come out, and what you look for is what are going to be the narratives that could potentially work out here. And so my biggest concern was also going into this was, of course, there's going to be a lot of scams, a lot of rugs, and so we have to be super cautious. And once we start to see Cash Cat kind of moving and doing what it's thing, we were like, okay, we got to pay attention here. And I did send out a setup in my community for Cash Cat. That was the first one. And then, where it is. And then some of the other, like the first movers, like what is the first dog on the chain? That's Kitsu. So that was sitting at about 100K. When I sent an alpha on it, and I was like, be cautious with this one, but this is the first dog on chain, on Robinhood chain. And that one did incredible for us. I think it's sitting currently close to $2 million market cap, so already around 20x. Went up a little bit more, so it's now retracing a little bit, but hopefully it can continue to grow. So first dog was that, and then also what was the first meme? Well, the first meme was actually a lady coin, and that one, Lady Marian. I hope I'm getting the name correct. It's Robinhood's partner apparently, and that coin also was super low when we got into that one. And it's like, okay, this is the first ever meme deployed on Robinhood. So maybe a slow mooner, but it could do well for us. And it did. It did incredible as well. It was flying yesterday and, making new all-time highs and everything. So that was really the mindset going into this is what are the first movers? What was the first meme that was deployed? What is the first dog that was deployed? And so you look into those and you kind of build up the narratives. And then also with the community that we have, the stonks community, right? I love the stonk, I'm not going to sell community. What are they looking for? That what are they going to be putting their money towards? And that is when you think about the Wall Street bets. You talk about anything that's related to AMC, GME crowd, right? And then you start kind of building up your narrative there. We positioned ourselves into GME early on as well, and then of course what's the next one? Of course, yeah, that's AMC. And then what are the other ones? When and if, again, these are all speculation, right? You have to be very cautious. This is not financial advice. I'm just sharing what I'm personally doing, and so far it's working out fine. It doesn't mean that those plays cannot get crushed, right? Memes come with a high amount of risk, so you have to be cautious. But you build up those narratives and you build your portfolio based on those narratives. So AMC is a good one. So when GME, if that starts to hit, let's say 10 million market cap and above, what are going to be the next ones? AMC, right? Because that's what the community prefers. And then what else after that? Nokia and BlackBerry. Well, they are like sitting at nothing right now. It's like a very small market cap. Those are first movers. Maybe they'll pick up, maybe they'll rug. You don't know. But if it's sitting at 7, 8K market cap, what are you losing? You can buy a very small amount of supply for or a very large amount of supply for a very small amount of money in case it runs in the future. Again, speculation on my part here, right? There is no fundamentals when it comes to memes. There are no technicals right now because charts are too new. You can still catch some technicals on it, but you have to be cautious there. And 99% of them will rug. So how do you find the gems out of all of those? So far, the calls that I've shared, none of them have rugged. And so far it's been lucky, which also means I'm overdue for a rug, right? So you have to be cautious there. You can't be overconfident and say, I'm on a winning streak, so the next one I'm going to put my entire portfolio into. Well, that's really how you lose. That's how you become a loser. So you have to be cautious there. And then also the Chinese narratives with, Chinese community has not joined Robinhood just yet. Now I've just found the first Chinese coin on Robinhood chain, which I got into, position my community into that one as well. Is Robinhood in Chinese language. These are all listed on Noxa, which is a pump.fund type website for Robinhood. So the contracts are going to be safe and all of that thing, right? You don't want to just buy a random contract. This is another thing too. Safety is important when you are trenching on Robinhood chain because there's going to be a lot of scams. People are getting their accounts, their wallets drained. So please be cautious there. And so Noxa, I'm good with it. I noticed this Chinese coin. I'm like, all right, well, it's only a matter of time when the Chinese community will join in. And we did position ourselves into that one as well. I think it's like under 100K right now, if I'm not mistaken, unless it pumped this morning. So that one we got into as well, super early, 60, 70K, around that number. And today they did update their Dex screener as well. And so there's been, and also some Chinese KOLs have started to talk about it. So maybe something good will come out of it. Maybe it won't. You just have to be careful there. So that's how I'm just kind of building the narrative, right? What's the logo for Robinhood? The feather. Is in that, like, there's now a token for Feather. We also positioned ourselves early into that one. It did really good as well for the community. And so just kind of focusing on those narratives, it is taking a lot of hours of my time to do that research, right? Which means I'm putting everything away. I'm putting in a lot of work here, putting in some nighttime hours as well, late night hours, just to kind of focus. But yeah, it's been incredible for the community, and I'm just glad that during the bear year, if you are able to generate that 200x, which is what we've done this morning, we did hit 200x cumulative returns on those calls. That is absolutely incredible for a bear year because the bear year is not over yet. Hopefully we continue to go up. Like, this is the best time right now. The July closes green. I mean, great time for Robinhood. And then of course, everything is going to get crushed again towards October. And there will be more opportunities. It means like all of these good new meme coins might have a nice bottom that we may be able to catch in October. So there's all of those things playing out. But yeah, I'm super excited to see some of these plays coming out. Hopefully that answers the question, Nat. And I'll get into it a little bit more. I'll show you some charts and things. But yeah, that summarizes it.
Yeah, that's incredible. The platform you use, you said Noxim.
Yeah, so it is. Let me actually get you the exact um, website address. I don't want anyone getting. So it's fun.noxa, FUN dot noxa, NOXA dot FI. It's Noxa Fun Token Launchpad. And this is like one launchpad. Again, most of the new ones are going to be scams, right? Most of the new projects listed on there are going to be scams. Like I want to make it super clear to you all. And I'm cautious with those new ones. I am not positioning myself into anything new. I am mostly interested in established communities at this point, right? It doesn't mean it's not going to change later on. I think there was one new one that we got into, Andy, which, I don't like their chart, but it still did about 3x for us. So there are definitely, there's going to be some opportunity. And so yeah, we'll dive into that more. I have a question here. Would you guys give a rundown of the easiest way to onboard Robinhood chain? Yes, we can absolutely do that. We'll go over it a little bit, right? I want to get everybody's take on the markets, and then I can kind of walk you through, if you're new to Robinhood chain, how you can bridge, what you can do, and then basically we'll get you onboarded to Robinhood chain as well. So we'll do that here in a few minutes. I want to go ahead and pass the mic on to Bits of Wealth. Go ahead, my friend. Can you hear us?
Yeah, let me know if you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you fine.
StreamYard hates me. I don't know why. StreamYard hates me. They just do. They just do. But look, we're here. It's probably my fault if we're being real. But we're gonna go with the narrative that StreamYard hates me. Yeah. Look, let me. Fun discussion. I think there's a lot to be said about these memes right now. It's definitely something where timing, I think, is of the essence in these. It's like there's a unique opportunity here, the same as there was early Solana days, same as there was when pretty much every chain had their on-chain opening event, if you will. So yeah, there's something there. We'll see. Shout out to Lady Trader. She helped me go from 0 to in the game, getting started. So we'll do it again. We'll play the game when it's there, when it makes sense. We've got a pretty cool strategy for like pullbacks on some of the larger ones that have maybe been around for a while. So we'll see if that's still functioning here. So far, it looks like it is. We got a pretty cool entry on GME based on that. And there's a couple others that are kind of setting up for that. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But look, I want to pull up my trading view real quick, and we'll go over. Give me one sec here. Where the heck is my window? Why won't it let me? Great, it's doing that stupid thing again where it will not let me share. Why? Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to share trading view. I might have to reboot again for some reason. Bummer. Yeah, I did it last time, and I can't remember how I fixed it. I think I went to a different browser, maybe. Sharing was canceled because that makes no sense. Hold on. Yeah, maybe we'll have to skip over me then and see if William or Calvin have anything they want to share. But it's not letting me share any of this stuff right now. So yeah, it won't let me share that.
Well, it doesn't want you to talk about Bitcoin today. It wants you to talk about all the Robinhood plays. So probably that's
exactly
why.
That's probably what it is.
No BTC talks, but we have Kelvin. Kelvin has been off for the last few weeks, so we are super excited to welcome him back to FOMO Friday. We'll continue a Robinhood discussion. We'll get you guys onboarded to Robinhood chain, but I want to bring in Kelvin into the discussion and see how he's doing and what he's looking in the markets right now. Kelvin, take it away.
Okay. Well, hey everybody. Sorry for being gone for feels like months. I definitely, summers are not easy for me because I've got a million children. I'm just kidding. I don't have that many
Brilliant.
kids anymore, but I've got my oldest is married and they're living here, and then we got vacations and traveling and all kinds of stuff going on. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened since we've talked last. So in the time that I've been talking to you all, my hedge fund is live. So we finally got approval. We are doing our thing, which is really, really cool. All of our we're up 120% year to date. So we're doing pretty good for the trading. And we just had our first investor fund us today. So things are happening, and it is awesome. We're excited to move to the future and see what we can do. But anyway, all of this is just news, and then I kind of want to just give some ideas and thoughts on what I think the market is doing.
Calvin, this chart is unbearable. The whiteness going on here is just so bright.
Everybody
So
put on
bright.
your
Yeah,
sunglasses.
dude, what the hell,
I
Calvin?
love
Oh
it.
my
I
god.
absolutely love it.
Let me get some sunglasses on. Hang on before you start.
Yeah.
The neighbors can probably see, like, it looks like I'm running like some kind of nuclear fission or something in here. Like, it's just the light going out my windows illuminating the neighborhood.
Yep, it's good for your eyes. It's good. Get those babies all focused in.
Calvin, I think before we bring up the chart, we need to give the vampires a warning, kind of just like issue out some
That's so true.
sunglasses.
All right. So here's our monthly chart. We are, well, let me give us a little more data. Here's forever. What's cool is a few months ago, we had our first 200-month line show up. So Bitcoin is starting to mature to the point where we actually have 200-month showing up on our chart, which is kind of a neat thing. I started back here in 2012, so cool to see all these the market maturing to this point. Anyway, this is our first green zone because we've got our 200 on the chart, and last month we cracked below and had a close below the 50-month, which is, I can't even tell you how bearish that is. Super bearish, mostly because every year you can see how we didn't quite hit the 50. We bounced off the 50. Last time we put a body through it and then lost it for months, and then battled back above it. And then this was our most recent run. So it stands to reason that our 200-month moving average is probably the target for this this upcoming bear market. So struggling with the 50-month is definitely a recipe for coming down and hitting the 200. But what's going to happen in the meantime? Let's zoom in just a tad, and we can kind of look at that. So here's our 50-month, here's our 200-month, and this is on the weekly chart. I just have it's just mathematical. What stands out here is that we have these drops, and then we have a move up, and then we have a sweep of the lows, and then we have a move up, and then we have a sweep of the lows, and we're going to have a move up, in my opinion, and we're going to sweep the lows again. So we're kind of doing this thing. Our drops are getting less intense though. So unless something really unusual happens, there's going to have to be some kind of wild world event for us to really sweep down to the 200. But I think Bitcoin can do it. I think we can still get down into this area, but right now we're kind of buttering up the bulls. We're showing less intensity to the downside, so we need a little bit more structure, even maybe a fake higher high or something, and then a flush out. So this is going to take time. I don't know if we're going to fully get this done before October. So I'm just kind of interested to see how this cycle is going to work out. But the thing that stands out on this chart is that when we had an extreme move to the downside, we went sideways for about 2 months before we had a little bit of a fake out and then down. And this one was longer because this is about 2.5 months of kind of sideways in this zone before we had our move up to fake everybody out. We're only 4 weeks into this. So I would expect that it'll still take us a couple more months, or excuse me, a couple more weeks to actually go sideways before we actually do our bounce. Where's the bounce? It's likely between the 200-week, or excuse me, the 20-week, which is at about 70, and potentially maybe 72 or somewhere in here, somewhere where this kind of slope is starting to move. So it could be 74, but it could be in here. I figure if we keep moving along, we could totally see something like this. But I don't think we're just going to go straight there. It'd be a little odd to me if we did. So I think we're going to fight a little bit sideways for a few more weeks. But I think the next move is up, not down. That's just my opinion. So when we get up to here, we'll have to see what happens if we sweep this again. But there's kind of a big event happening on the daily. It doesn't, this red zone here, crossing above the 50-day moving average is a zone that we don't see very often. This is usually in a bear market, you'll have a couple of bands of red. If I zoom really far out, you can kind of see this is the bull market. We had one weird red zone during the bull market, and then we kind of finished out. But you can see once the bull market is over, here's our last time. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 bands of red, and then the bear market before then, it was really hard to see. But if you did 1, 2, 3, 4, you could say, hey, this was our move out of the bear market. Right now we're on 1, 2, 3. So what's likely to happen is that we're probably going to be moving out of this red zone over the next few weeks. Like I said before, we'll get up into here, and then we'll have one more pull out and sweep to the low, back into the red zone, and that exit is going to be money. That's where I'm going to be looking for some longs if we ever get out of that. So that's how I'm reading the market. We kind of have a little bit of a reverse head and shoulders, just not classic, but we have some support and some things happening here. I still think we could have a flush out of this low here of 61, and then we start heading up here. But this is a very, very likely endpoint to be by like August or mid-August. So that's kind of how I'm reading the chart.
Love it, Kelvin. So immediate move will be towards the upside. I think we all align on that one. Myself, you, bits of wealth. So it's great to see that. I think we are overdue for a nice green month. So that's going to happen at some point. But yeah, great take there, Kelvin. Thank you. Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was going to say, Calvin, too, before you switch off here, I was going to say, we'll go back to like June 22nd there. I think I might have some chop similar to when we had that. What was that? June 2022, not 22nd, my bad. June 2022. On the weekly chart, if you go back, I mean, it just looks so similar outside of the, crazy move up we had up there to 82 and then the rip right back down. I just think that we're probably going to chop out. I can totally see it happening before we consolidate and then rip up higher.
That's an interesting fractal. I could see that. You can tell that something's missing, and it is the liquidations. So what Nat's talking about is very important. We haven't seen an extreme move to the upside, and we haven't seen an extreme move to the downside in quite a while. So the big liquidation events haven't happened. So whichever side ends up losing, which I still think will be the upper side, bears are going to get roasted. Liquidity is going to get absolutely snatched to the upside, and then everyone's going to get confident, put all the longs in, and that's the point at which we sweep the other side.
Yep, I 100% agree.
The rug bull.
Love it. Love our theories here. It's incredible. I mean, you guys see it. We see it. Great takes. Thank you, Kelvin, and welcome back. And once again, everybody who is tuning in just now, thank you for joining. And also, please like and retweet the post, and also leave a comment under the actual Twitter post. I know you guys are leaving your comments here, which is great. We can showcase them on the screen, but please also leave your comments on the X post, because we want to get as much visibility as we can get on this post, and we can get as many people up here as we can, as I will be talking about how to onboard on Robinhood chain here very shortly as well. I want to walk you through it. I want to break it down for you, because I know there's a lot of information that's out there. You have to be cautious, you have to be safe, and we'll walk you through all of that. But yeah, we'll go ahead and pass the mic on to William to get some very quick takes on what he's looking into the markets right now. And yeah, we'll go from there. William, take it away.
Yeah, it's funny that we're talking about Robinhood chain because I want to talk about Robinhood the stock.
Great.
I've been very, very bullish on this thing. Obviously, we had this massive move up here. I actually longed. I got back into Robinhood around 81 here, $80 here on this little pickup down here, just based on this massive, massive move up we had. I really like the way equities in general have just performed against crypto. I haven't really been trading any crypto because of that. I know there's like the massive meme pump we're getting in Robinhood chain, which I'm excited to talk about with you guys. I want to hear what you guys are all trading because I'm curious to see what's going on in the ecosystem. But the actual stock itself, I think Robinhood's covering a lot of verticals, right? Like they have this obviously Robinhood chain coming out recently, massive, massive potential there, lots of liquidity, lots of movement. But then you have the Trump account news coming out where they're going to be managing a ton of different, custodial accounts, which equal fees and revenue, et cetera. And so I just think Robinhood as a company, fundamentally speaking, is just hitting on so many fronts that it's really hard to like not be bullish on these guys. I really think that it's just an all-around great financial platform. That being said, on the technical side of things, I really like on the daily chart, especially how we had that massive drop down below 200 EMA. We picked up very similar to what I talked about a couple weeks ago on the show, where it was moving just like crypto, just like Bitcoin, right? And then we had this divergence where Bitcoin basically was just rejected at the 20 EMA and then fell below the 200 EMA, whereas Robinhood hit the 200 EMA, which is the yellow line here, holds right below it, catches that 20 EMA, and then rides and just runs up here. And so until Robinhood breaks the 20 EMA, which is this white line below that green cloud you see there, I don't really have any concern for this stock yet. I mean, I'm still extremely, extremely, extremely bullish. I'm long, like I said, $80. Price target is the high, of course, like 150, 140. Maybe I'll start like taking profit there. But I think that there's a lot of potential with this company specifically. It's one of the things I've been trading. The other one I was trading was AVA. That's AEVA. This is another equity. They are a LiDAR company, so very, very niche, much smaller. I was long on this company around $14. We had nice consolidation lining up there, kind of just chopping back and forth. I decided to long. It took some profits around the $19, $20 range here, expecting it to come right back down. But lo and behold, we caught the EMA 20 right here on the daily chart and then just run straight up here. So I'm still long this company. I think that their deal with NVIDIA is really excellent. And I think that if you're bullish on physical AI and real world data collection like I am, this is just one of those stocks that falls into that category that I think there's lots of potential for. I believe the market cap right now is about 1.4 billion. Yeah, it says that right there, 1.4 bill. So there's a ton of upside here. Obviously, there's a lot of risk as well. It's still very early. But those are the two that I've been trading actively. Everything else I've just been kind of chilling on. I guess I'll give my take on where we're at on the indexes as well, to give kind of people an idea of what I think is going to happen in the market in the near term. This is the S&P 500 right here. As a daily chart. As you can see, we had this amazing run up from all the semis and everything like that. I mean, everyone's kind of aware of the Nasdaq and the S&P having that incredible run that they've had. Obviously, we had this massive, massive drawdown below the EMA 20, kind of chopping now between these two ranges. I'm expecting, especially after today, I'm expecting us to just continue rallying after we broke out of this kind of channel here. If we can hold this green candle, I totally expect to see at least these previous highs at 76.18, if not even higher. I don't think the bull run's over for equities. I think it's honestly just getting started here, just based on the patterns. But those are my takes. Those are my takes on what I'm looking at. So I'll throw it back to you, Lady Trader.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And yes, we are bullish on Robinhood chain and Robinhood platform as well. By the way, when we talk about these we are all excited about Robinhood chain. So I'm going to share a little alpha here very shortly about what's coming up next in the world of different chains and what chains we could potentially see coming up very soon. I know there's always these chains that are coming up, but you also, like Robinhood is a big one. It's not like, there's going to be a million others, and most of them they may have some first movers that are good, but then it's not going to have the kind of returns that we are probably going to see with Robinhood. So we'll have some more alpha coming up here very shortly. We'll pass the mic on to Bits of Wealth, since I know he is eager to give his takes on the market and also tell us that I told you so about what was coming up next, because we've been kind of covering the bull moves that we are seeing in the markets right now. Bits, take it away.
Well, I finally got this working, it seems like. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Yeah. What a pain in the butt. But anyways, a lot of it is self-inflicted, unfortunately. But yeah, let me go over here on BTC. So look, yeah, we're still watching it. Not a whole lot of I told you so's. I mean, it's all probabilities, right? It's I've maintained a slightly more bullish outlook than bearish outlook here. So far that looks to be the case. I have been looking for a sweep lower though, and I will say that has yet to happen. But I had this idea here that we would look for something like this, and it kind of front ran it a little bit. Like it didn't come into the liquidity zone that I thought, and instead it started moving back up towards the upper side of the target of the channel here. So I probably need to I probably need to redo this channel maybe once we figure out what's happening here. But look, we still know there's a lot of liquidity still down here. There's a lot. If you go look at Coin Glass or Market Monkey, you'll still see that down there. There's liquidity building right here, slightly below price as well right now. It's probably going to grab that. Whether it can kind of find a bounce and then go higher again is the bigger question here. And if that's the case, are you effectively then you got this move down here, which means I need to update the channel. And then does this just kind of pull back here and then go higher? And if that were the case here, I'm just going to put away this channel for now. And we'll put a new one on here using this swing low, going back to the previous one here. And I don't know that I want to anchor it all the way up there, but let's try it. Let's see what happens. Is something like this actually in play now, where this move comes here, maybe comes back somewhere towards the bottom of this updated channel, and then we see if it can break back up into the upper half of this channel for that move above this high back here at 67. If this fails, however, right, if this fails and it comes down and it can't find a bounce, like let's say it comes up and it struggles around here, and then we see that come down and break the channel, then I'm just going to be looking to treat this as more of like a horizontal range. Like we'll just say, okay, this is where price is trading. I'm looking for sweeps to the upside, sweeps to the downside, just standard deviation plays, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, if you go look at any of the liquidation and liquidity heat maps and stuff, there's a lot to the downside. There's still absolutely a whole lot to the downside. So we'll see what happens there. There is a larger channel as well on all of this. I think we've talked about this one before as well, but you most definitely have a larger channel. I'll just throw it on really quick and dirty, but we can always clean it up a little bit more if we need to. But essentially something like this. There is something like this at play as well, which means we're almost near the top of that. Volume profile is kind of showing you that as well. Here you can see there's a little bit of like of a cave, here in the volume profile, right? So you can kind of see that there, which means this area is likely, to be an area that you're going to need. If you're going to break above it, you're going to need a big momentum push. Like you're going to need something that's really going to get it up above that. It'll have a hard time if it's trying to chop through that. And more than likely, it's going to get slapped back down. If it tries to chop through it, it's going to get smacked. It's going to get absolutely smacked. So that's kind of what I'm watching here on BTC so far. But other than that, not a lot has changed. entry from the lows is still holding up, still looking pretty good. Really until you clear, up here in the 80s, you don't really break any kind of macro structure.
Mhm.
Like this is still the last big swing that we need to get above. Otherwise, we're still just heading lower. So this thing has room to go up. Previous year low right there at 74.5. Maybe this thing moves up there and then gets smacked at around that level. But yeah, it's hard at this point. I think it's hard to argue that 60K is definitely being defended. Like it's hard to say that people are just going to let this melt. Like the market is trying everything it can to defend this like rough 60K area here. So we'll see what ends up
Mhm.
happening there. Stable coins, you guys know I like to look at stable coin dominance. Back towards the bottom of the weekly range. Looking for a bounce here. Maybe there's an opportunity that it sweeps one more time and then decides to go the other way. Certainly could happen. Ultimately, if BTC is going to go higher, though, you want this to break lower. You want this coming down so BTC can go higher. If this thing takes out that swing there, then it's probably going in for a pretty deep pullback, which means BTC is going to be definitely visiting some of the lower side of that range as well. Let's look at Uniswap really quickly, because with all the action that's happening on well, here, I'll pull it up on this one, Uni USDT. With everything that's happening on Robinhood, I think Uniswap is an interesting one to look at.
Mhm.
So it's green on the month, right? It's green on the month. I've been talking about like a green July. Definitely are starting to see that with the alts. Alts have continued leading though, but if you look at others against BTC, it's held up pretty well. It's actually held up here. It's had a little bit of a pullback, but it's held up decently well. I wouldn't say that this is like pumping by any means. It's just kind of consolidating. At some point, I do want to see this probably head higher here, but that's looking pretty good. And then also, if we look at BTC dominance minus the stables, it's pretty much flat as well. It's pretty much flat. So I think as long as this kind of remains flat or starts trending lower, I think the alts can keep running. We'll probably see that. If this thing starts moving up aggressively to the top side, then I think the alts probably slow down a little bit and people, end up going back to BTC basically is kind of like the strategy there. But others dominance is coming down a little bit, but it's mainly same thing. It's kind of just flat. It's just flat. It's still above previous range highs here. And if you do others dominance, how did I do this other one? It's no, maybe I was just looking at it like that, because you've got others BTC and then others dominance. But I was doing something with this one. I can't remember exactly what it was. I'll have to go find it. But there was another way to view it where it was also showing like some potential strength against BTC in the short term. So yeah, Uniswap's looking good. It's towards the top of this range here, though. So I think there is there is a little bit of risk here in that if Uniswap doesn't get like a big pop, the bottom of this range is still mostly untapped, and you could be seeing a move back towards those lows potentially there. So but yeah, Uniswap's looking pretty good. Arbitrum is probably another one worth looking at if you're bullish on what Robinhood is doing. Arbitrum also getting a big pump. Why? Because people are using the network, right? People are using the network. People are speculating on this could be bullish for Arbitrum. Robinhood chain is basically using the Arbitrum stack. So a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do on the high time frames. But I do think it takes out the high of last month, which means it's currently at 0.09. I think it makes a move over 10 cents. And then depending on how it's going, it could definitely have an opportunity to make a move up here towards like 15 to 16 cents. But it's got a lot of work to do, but definitely some momentum and some energy coming in here. But just got to be careful. Just got to know your ranges. Understand that there are some ranges that they could keep price kind of held down for a little bit. So, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I'm looking at right now. That's pretty much my take, I guess.
Love it. Thank you so much, Bits. Great takes there. And yeah, Uniswap is definitely going to move quite a bit, especially with the new chain and all the trading that's happening for Robinhood. That's going to be incredible. All right, we are going back to discussing Robinhood, as I do want to talk a little bit about onboarding and how you can get involved in the ecosystem. The only take I have for BTC right now, it's going to be a very quick one, so we'll do that and then move on to a Robinhood discussion. So let me go ahead and bring up my charts. There is so much to share on BTC and some of the things that I've been working on. As you guys know, I've been using the Gentleman Suite indicator quite a bit, so I'm going to talk about that probably next week and share some secrets, some strategies, and then also the channels that I've incorporated with my EMAs. It's been absolutely incredible. And so we'll talk about all of that next week. But one thing I'll quickly say, remember what happened here, right? This candle the other day, we did take a short position on this one. This was a very clear trappy move after the price basically consolidating here, and then this move, and then I shorted like right here, right at this candle close, somewhere around there, and didn't even care that this went up a little bit. I was like, this is fine. And then this is what I call like the raw candle, right? You get like a nice $1,000 to $2,000 worth candle in one big momentum move, and then everything comes crashing down. And so that's when I positioned myself for the short. I did exit at which one was it? This one here, a little bit under your 800 EMA. And then I did take an entry. My first initial entry was, I think, somewhere around here. But I ended up exiting it when I saw this pattern. I was like, okay, maybe we'll create a new low, even though this one was a pretty solid pattern. Like something like this is when I put my whole, like a big chunk into a play like this, right? So this move, when you have the liquidity is taken, you have basically two legs of the W below this first leg, and a pattern like this, usually very, very bullish. And so then I positioned myself right here, and I caught the move all the way. You guys have seen it. I shared it in the group. And I'm out of this trade, by the way. I'm out. What I did see, though, is usually whenever a candle like this is thrown, price does go back up. It does not break. So when it doesn't break, then you know that it's going to probably continue lower a little bit. So you want this to break to the upside very quickly. So hopefully, maybe we'll find the bottom here, or maybe at this EMA here. So I'm just watching how this plays out. But we'll come back to the strategies next week. I want to talk about Robinhood. I know you all are excited for that. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and we'll cover it. So how do you onboard to Robinhood chain? How do you get involved? Are we still early? Yes, I believe we are still early because we have not seen any Coinbase or Binance listings just yet, right, of those coins. So that means we are actually early. We are before the Binance traders are going to come in. We are here before the Coinbase traders are going to come in. And so that's a very good opportunity. At least that's how I see it for myself. Not financial advice, right? Anything that I'm sharing here is just for educational purposes, and I'm also sharing what I'm personally doing. And so, which may or may not work out, right? We all have lessons to learn, so we have to be cautious there. But how do you participate in Robinhood ecosystem? So first of all, you will have to configure this in your wallet, right? I tried Phantom Wallet. There were some issues with it, so I skipped it. I have some community members who've tried Robinhood Wallet, and they are also having some issues with it where not all of the tokens are available there. So they are having some issues. And so what I'm recommending everybody to do is try MetaMask, right? You want to make sure that you have the legit MetaMask app, right? Not the fake ones that are out there. Make sure if you already have one, that's that's solid. And just make sure that you are downloading the correct one, right? MetaMask wallet. Once you have that, you have to configure the network on there, right? It's a custom network that you're going to add. Once you do that, you're pretty much going to be good to go. This is going to be available to you. The next thing you're going to do is you'll bridge your Ethereum from Ethereum chain over to Robinhood chain, which is pretty easy, super easy to do. You use this Arbitrum bridge. This is what I've been using. Some people have also been using bots to do that. I'm just the good old fashioned way, right? Using a bridge. That's what I'm doing right now. And basically you can use pretty much all of these chains, right? You could use Arbitrum chain, you can use base chain, and so quite a few chains. I'm just doing the good old Ethereum. And so you're gonna make sure that your MetaMask has some Ethereum in it, and then you're going to bridge it to your Robinhood chain. And so that's what I'm doing. There are different ways that you can do that, right? At least 3 different ways. Once you connect the wallet, you'll be able to see it. I'm not going to go through all of that, but this is a legit website. Make sure that you make a note of this one. I will leave some of these down in the comments below as well after we end our stream, so you can take a look at it. Once you do that, you bridged it successfully. Like I said, there are 3 different ways. There will be like a slow one, a fast one. I'm using the fastest one. Takes less than a minute for my funds to arrive on Robinhood chain. And then you're able to trade those tokens on Uniswap. You'll just go connect to Uniswap, find the tokens, make sure that you are selecting Robinhood Ethereum. If it's the regular Ethereum, it's going to give you an error message. So make sure you're selecting the Robinhood Ethereum, and then you basically do your transactions. So that's what I'm doing. Now, the way that I'm finding these plays, of course, is DEX Screener, right? You go to Robinhood chain, and you see what's happening. The new ones I am avoiding. I feel like there's a lot of rugs now, but we were in a lot of good ones. We've already caught the Cash Cat, right? We caught Hood Rat. We caught quite a few of these. And so it's just, we caught this one as well. So I'm just looking at some of the OG ones that have good communities, right? So Kitsu is one that we are into. This one. We also caught this one at around 100K. And so it's been pretty incredible. I want to share a little something here. So this is the leaderboard. I'm just going to copy and paste it here so you can see the returns that we've had so far, right? So we caught all of these, and the cumulative returns so far are 204x, which is pretty incredible for a bear market or bear year. And so I'm hoping that we can get this up to 1,000x. I don't know if we'll be able to, but I would love to see this hitting 1,000x. Even 500x would make me happy, right? So we'll see how far we can get. But these are all of the ones that we are positioned into right now. This one I'm a little bit cautious about it, even though it did good for us. I think there is a big rug potential. I'm not liking what's happening there, like a lot of farming happening. So cautious with this one, but the rest of them I'm holding, and we'll see how it plays out. And so the other thing that you have to do, I'm hearing people getting their wallets drained, so you want to be cautious there. Noxa.fun is a platform that is pretty much like Pump.fun platform, right? So you want to be cautious for the new ones, but you can check the previous ones, the existing ones, to just kind of see if they were actually on Noxa. And if they were, then at least you know that the contract would be safer, right? Again, not the safest, right? Not 100% safe, but it's going to be better than just buying a random unverified token on chain that may be a malicious one. So I am double checking, cross checking it here, making sure that it does come from Noxa.fun. Previously, a lot of these tokens were launched on Noxa, so you know that the liquidity is locked and all of those things. And so that's basically what I am looking at. And you can just basically put in your contract address. That's one way to do it, or you could search for it, right? Just verify it. And there it was. So it was launched here. Currently, it's at 2.5 mil. It had an ATH of 4.8 mil. So previous, that's the safest way. There are other ways, right? I can get into the technicals one. I can put a developer hat on and talk about other things, but I want to keep it basic. It doesn't matter whether you know how to read contracts and how to do all of that other research or not. I want to make it super easy for you. So this is the easiest way for you to verify, make sure that the contract is a safer one, right? Again, it's not the safest. There's always risks involved. So be cautious with it, but that's one way to double check, cross check, and all of that. So lots of good stuff happening, right? We are already in GME as well, this one, GameStop, because we do believe that there is a big community out there on Robinhood. Remember one thing, when I know that a lot of people who are initially critical of Robinhood chain because if, Ansem and some of the other stuff that's happening on Solana, they're like, oh, Robinhood chain doesn't have any, it doesn't have any potential. Here's what I can tell you. No one would onboard Web2 users to crypto like Robinhood would. They have a huge community. They have traders who want to get involved with crypto. They are intimidated by MetaMask wallet and all of these other things. They want to make it easier. So remember, we had over 700 billion volume on Robinhood Exchange in 2025, right? We're talking about 700 billion with a B. And that's in 1 year. So imagine what's going to happen when Robinhood chain becomes more mainstream. There's going to be a lot of onboarding happening, lots of Web2 investors, and I'm not going to be disrespectful here, but I want to make one thing super clear. Most Web2 investors, they are very good with their investments and their holding patterns and everything when it comes to equities market. When it comes to crypto, the knowledge isn't there yet, right? Which means that they don't really understand the concept of FDVs. They don't understand the concept of market caps and all of those things. So when they see something new and shiny, they're going to go straight to, oh, this is the next Bitcoin, or hey, this is going to be big. I'm going to buy it now. And so they are not, like XRP. You'll have a lot of people from Web2 saying XRP is the next Bitcoin. It's going to $20,000. Like, how? Do you know what the market cap is going to be, right? So just to summarize, that's the kind of community we got. A lot of people who don't understand the market cap, the concept of market cap. So that means a lot of liquidity coming in, right? And a lot of projects that could potentially make and go into billions. And so there is a big potential there. So that's what I'm looking forward to, right? I hope that Robinhood chain does great for us. For those of us who positioned ourselves early, we were here before Binance, we were here before Coinbase. Super excited for everybody who was able to benefit from some of these early movers. And so now I'm just looking for secondary plays, right? I'm in some others, like, some of the Chinese ones as well. There are at least 2 Chinese plays right now on there. One is the alpha one, the very first Chinese Robinhood play, which was also launched on Noxa, and then a second one. I'm looking forward to those 2 playing out, GME, and then of course once GME, if it's somehow we can get about 10 mil. Again, this is a risky one, right, during a barrier, but if it can somehow get above that 10 mil market cap, I think AMC could do well as well. So we can look into AMC. Let's see if we can find that one. Currently, it's at 85K. It's kind of like it found this right here at around 200K, came down quite a bit because it is a technical level. A lot of people exit at 200K. So we'll see if it can make another push up, right? But it depends on how GME does. So I'm holding this one again. We positioned ourselves super early on this one. So we'll see how AMC, I think we found it at around 11K. So we are already up 9x on this one, right? Because we found it super early. I found it at around 10K, 11K, somewhere around that number. So we are already up big, right? I mean, there is no reason for us to lose on this one. At least that's what I'm hoping for. So we'll see how this one plays out. If it does move like GME, I think we're going to do good with this one. So we'll see. Again, speculation, right? We don't know what's going to happen exactly, but we'll see. A few other ones, right? The very first. Let's see if we can get to that one. This is the very first meme on Robinhood. Their team is pretty incredible too. They built some utilities, some DEXs and swaps and other things, bridges, I believe as well. They were doing some neat stuff on chain before anyone else was doing anything. And this was the very first deployed coin. I mean, we could have even gotten super early, right? We were still early, right? We caught it pretty early on. So we are up on this one as well, big. At least I would say, I think around 20x on this one as well. We caught it pretty early. And so, but still, we could have even got in a little bit earlier than that. But this, again, regardless, good trade, but this is the first meme coin. So we'll see how this one does on the chain. I'm looking forward to this one. So hopefully it's clear to some of you about, how to onboard. And if you have questions, like I said, leave them in the comments and then we'll answer them for you. But yeah, that's really how you can onboard. Go back and watch the recording again of the stream. If something is not clear, you can reach out to me in the DM if you need to. I'll respond. And yeah, we'll get you onboarded on Robinhood chain. And all the best to you. Hopefully, be involved in it, in some way, shape, or form, even if it's just playing with testnet that's there, or playing with mainnet, some of the good stuff that's already there. Just play with the chain, see how it is, how you like it, how you like the speed and all of that, right? It's all about being part of the ecosystem. It's not always about trenching in the meme coins. So hopefully that you find a good community on Robinhood as well. So yeah, that sums up. One thing I did say that there's going to be some alpha on what could be potentially coming up next. We saw the Robinhood chain. Potentially in the future, maybe we could see a Schwab chain or a Fidelity chain or a VBull chain, right? So we need to keep an eye out for all of those. Maybe a TD Ameritrade chain at some point, because everybody's going to want to have their own chain to do the RWAs on it, right? Tokenization. And so that is going to be a big push. So I am going to be there if those chains come out. I'm going to ignore some of the other L2s, like the the ones that are not really tied to an exchange. But if there's a Web2 exchange with a nice volume and they launch a chain, I want to be the first one there. I want to watch, I want to be keeping an eye on it. So Robinhood, we found it super early, but I'm still mad that I wasn't there on June 15th. Like that's when I should have been there. I'm still super early, right? So I'm not complaining too much, but should have been here. Like this is where I should have been. So we'll have to see how those new chains come out and what happens. And when they do come out, I'll be keeping an eye on it. I'll be there day one, and hopefully we'll catch some good trades there too, some good first movers. But yeah, this is incredible opportunity, I think, and we'll see. We'll keep an eye out on what's happening, and make sure that if you want to be part of the community, which I mentioned, we caught all of these great moves. If you want to be part of this community, it is free to join. Send me a DM on X. I'll get you added so you can keep an eye on it. There are some really hardworking alpha hunters in the community, and it's not like all the moon boys and everybody, but really reasonable people. And so you'll enjoy being part of that community. So send me a DM. We'll get you added, and hopefully you'll enjoy being a part of it. Yeah, that's all I have for today. We're going to go around the room and get some final takes from everybody. Nat, you want to go first?
Yeah, that was actually incredible, Lady Trader. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. I mean, like I said in the beginning, I've been so bullish on Robinhood, and it's beautiful to see how far they've come. And I 100% agree. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Webull put out their own chain, right? Because they did the AI agents as
Mm-hmm.
well, the same thing that Robinhood did. So
Mm-hmm.
if they are to continue following the footsteps, I wouldn't be surprised if they do go ahead and launch their own chain, which is going to be very
Mm-hmm.
interesting, right? But as usual, we're going to be there. We're going to be paying attention, like you said, and
Mm-hmm.
we're going to get involved. Thank you so much for having me, Lady Trader. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Nat, for being here today. Appreciate you and all the liquidity levels that you bring with you. We appreciate that so much. Let's see, William, any final thoughts or comments from you?
No, I mean it's been an incredible stream. I love that Robinhood chain's getting so much traction. Again, super bullish on Robinhood, the company themselves. So I just think that the chain really just brings more upside to that side of things for their portfolio. And looking forward to seeing what happens price action wise. But no, love the stream today. Thank you so much for having us again, Lady Trader. Excited for next week.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, William, for joining us. We love our friends at Wolf Team. All of you are phenomenal. Cade,
Should I
you,
howl? Should I howl right
Gav.
now? Like do like a wolf howl?
Sure, please go right ahead.
No, I'm not doing that. Go for it.
No, we love our friends at Wolf Team. And yeah, we have such an incredible traders community, winning traders all over. So we all love our friends there. All right. Any final thoughts or comments from you, Kelvin?
Yeah, so it's fun to talk and speculate on Bitcoin, but I'm definitely enjoying the bear market. I've got my 350 short positions on Blowfin, and the bot is trading well. I love AI because you can port ideas over, and I've just reproduced the this bot that I've been so profitable with over to Hyperliquid. So it feels good to have the same idea and same concept happening. And my final thought is that I like seeing something new happening in the ecosystem. So the thing about crypto, Twitter, crypto world is that everyone has shiny objects syndrome. And if you're first, you profit. And since I'm short, and Hyperliquid is now old news, so it's going to get less and less attention and less interest. So being short on a bunch of different coins on Hyperliquid is a great play when people are moving assets away and moving into the new shiny object that's in the space. And we used to get shiny objects all the time. And in a bear market, it's fun to see something interesting and something moving. So I'm going to be staying away from Robinhood for quite a while until all of the excitement dies down. And then I will probably look for I'll just deploy my strategies, as it makes sense. But the thing I'm doing lately is I'm pretty short and very profitable. So I've been kind of hedging with Bitcoin longs. And so I've kind of built a little bit of a system to offset a little bit of that so I can feast upon the volatility and don't lose too much. If we go back up to 70, the shorts are great. They'll just re-grab, higher. And I still think we flush out again. But planning for the end of this cycle, I definitely want to be building into a big, nice, long Bitcoin position over the next 6 months. Something that will, that I'll be able to, enjoy the next few years of bull market with.
Absolutely love that. And we remember all of the shorts that when you were positioning yourself, that was incredible. Yeah, great work, Kelvin, and all the best to you and your hedge fund.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Bits of Wealth. Any final thoughts or comments from you, Bits?
No, not much to add. Great stream, and yeah, happy meme coining, I guess, on Robinhood.
Yes.
And enjoy the weekend. Also, I'll probably disconnect a little bit this weekend. Get a little bit of time away from the screens. But yeah, should be a good couple weeks coming up. I think July is going to be fun.
Yes, absolutely. I'm looking forward to hopefully a green July, right? We all need green July now that we are positioned into some of the Robinhood plays. Bring it on. Bring on the green July. I don't mind when it serves my purpose. I'm good with that. But yeah, overall, we are definitely going to be seeing more downside on BTC. But let's enjoy the green markets while they last. So super excited. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Bits, William, Nat, and Kelvin for co-hosting this show today with me. Robinhood special. Hopefully, you all found it helpful. Please make sure that you rewatch it. If you have questions around Robinhood Chain, how to onboard, all of that good stuff, I'll leave some comments as well with some of those resources that I shared on the stream. Hopefully you find it helpful. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all next week with another FOMO Friday.